Judging by that last panel, it looks like Dhabi is about to be dining on KFC very soon because of what Hawks has done. But all jokes aside, though, this was a very personal chapter for Twice. Twice has been through a lot. We, as the readers of the series, know that Twice has always been put into some situations that honestly is just outright painful. I don't think many of us really want to see Twice suffer because he has already been through enough as is. He may not be on the right side, he may be on the villain side and wants just total destruction, but even then, it's still sad to see someone like him hurt as much as he is. And when he views Hawks within this chapter, he doesn't view a hero like we do. He doesn't view someone that's working for the side of good. He views a past friend that betrayed him and his family, and he is a giant obstacle between him and his family's happiness. It's a very sad situation for Twice, because this isn't the first time that this has technically happened. This is the second. Now, obviously, this situation is a little bit more personal because of what Hawks technically did, but overall, though, it's very similar to the previous, and even Twice himself comes to that conclusion. He makes the connections on how he made a very similar mistake. Twice, obviously, has still yet to get over Big Sis Magna. He is still very much hurt and carrying the weight of her death. He is extremely upset, and it's really sad to see that he's still burdened by this guilt, and he still continues to press forward, but he is very much burdened by it. He blames himself for dragging Overhaul to Shigaraki's group and causing, someone to die. And as I've talked about in Link so many times in the past, this group, the villain group that Shigaraki operates, they're like a family. They care for each other in their own twisted, psychotic way. So, obviously, Twice feels very responsible for the death of one of his family members. And then, so we flash forward to where we're at now. He once again realizes that he's the cause, once again, to maybe his family being hurt, and potentially some of them dying, being locked away, their happiness ripped away. He feels outright responsible, and he made the same mistake. And the reason why he made these same mistakes is because he's too trusting. He's too much of a good guy. And that's the sad part about this. See, Twice is such an unfortunate character. He is obviously a villain, but he isn't a bad guy. Twice isn't evil, so to say. He doesn't do things out of sheer pleasure and fun. He does things because he wants a place to belong. He wants a family, a group to be with. And, obviously he might not have been with the best group or found the best group, but this group does care about him and he cares about them. And that's the major message here. And, him experiencing this where he put his trust and it was just ripped away, like, he shouldn't have trusted someone. It's gotta hurt him, and it's gonna make him become a little bit more colder and dark. And I feel like before everything is said and done with this arc, if Twice and the League of Villains and all of them get out of this A-okay, I do see Twice either A, potentially dying because of this whole ordeal, or B, he's going to completely lose himself and no longer be the same trusting and happy-go-lucky Twice that we've known since the very beginning of this story. He probably will become something much darker, something that will truly become a real villain. I could definitely see that being the case just because of what corner Hawks has kind of pushed him into right now, thanks to everything that has happened. But to get into a little bit more details on this whole situation, what really makes this incredibly painful is that the way Twice just view Hawks throughout the chapter is just so menacing. He views Hawks as this villain, this dark, ominous figure, and it's creepy. It's really creepy, but it makes perfect sense why Twice would view this, because he was in absolute shock. It's like his best friend coming out of nowhere and just stabbing him in the back, and he's like, you can't be serious, you're joking to me right now. And it's honestly quite a twist when you think about it, that ever since we were introduced to Hawks, the entire community, honestly, was talking about how Hawks would be the traitor. He would betray everyone a part of the hero side, and then it would be a major shift. Everybody's like, why would you do this? The number 2 hero doing stuff like this, people would be very upset, shocked. It would be a betrayal. And many thought this could potentially happen, and maybe it could happen, who knows? But the point still stands, though, is that it's a twist that it didn't actually happen to the hero side, it happened to the villain side, and it happened to a character that honestly did not deserve it. And the only reason why it happened was because Twice is just too trusting and too good of a person, and that is why this has all happened. It's sad. It's just outright sad. And, you know, I think that Hawks, he knows what situation he's currently in. I think he is fully aware that Twice is someone that is super unhinged, and he doesn't deserve to be used and, you know, locked away permanently, because he's just had a really bad hand dealt to him. But at the same time, there's something that has to be done. I mean, Twice is definitely very dangerous. He's probably one of the most dangerous individuals a part of the League of Villains because of what his quirk double can actually do. So because of this entire ordeal, Hawks' hands are tied. He must stop the villain Twice. And the question is, how far will Hawks be willing to go? We do know that Hawks grew a bond somewhat with Twice. We know that, you know, Hawks does care about Twice to a certain extent. The question is, how much does he care about him? Is he willing to die because he can't be, I guess, put up to stopping Twice? He can't afford to harm Twice because he doesn't want to put more damage to the man. There's so many questions I have, but it's very clear, though, that whatever's about to happen is going to probably be a major shift in Hawks, Twice, and even Dhabi's character, which that gets into a major point to talk about. See, Dhabi is arriving to the scene, and it's interesting to see Dhabi's dialogue. He says, "It's not your fault, Twice. It's these scummy heroes' fault." And this little dialogue says a lot about Dhabi as a character. Number one, it says that Dhabi does indeed care about his comrades, you know, the League of Villains, or the Paranormal Liberation Front. He does care about them. He does, because he wouldn't say something like that if he didn't care about Twice. He wouldn't be thinking about it and knowing that Twice is currently blaming himself. On top of that, you know for a fact that Dhabi's always had something against certain heroes. It's been very apparent. I mean, he joined Shigaraki's group when Stain made his announcement and stuff, and, you know, that's when they all kind of tried to join in with Shigaraki. So, we know that Dhabi has been around because he doesn't really like fake heroes, scummy heroes, etc., which is one of the things that's made it very interesting between Dhabi and Endeavor, and I think everybody by this point knows that Dhabi theory about him potentially being Endeavor's son. So it makes you wonder if this is the point of no return, to where Dhabi will actually reveal his entire backstory, because now's the best time to reveal Dhabi's backstory, because, you know, we don't know it. Nobody really probably knows it at all. I'm curious on what Dhabi's real name is. I'm really curious to see exactly, you know, his background, where he came from, what happened to him, etc. It all falls into place with whatever happened to Endeavor's child. So it makes sense. And I wonder if, you know, when Dhabi does confront Hawks, is Dhabi going to kill Hawks, or is Dhabi going to talk to Hawks or reveal the truth? Because let's go on a hypothetical, okay? Let's say Dhabi is truly Endeavor's son, okay, Toya. And if he actually does talk to Hawks because he's aware that Hawks is a fan of Endeavor, then I could definitely see maybe Dhabi actually making Hawks fall from grace, and this has been in talks for a very long time. The fans have talked about this and all that maybe Hawks might lose faith in Endeavor and the entire hero system if he finds out that his personal number one hero is actually a corrupt individual that did some horrific things in the past. I could definitely see Dhabi doing this, maybe, but would Twice stop after everything? That's the question. Would Twice stop? I don't really know. But the point still is this, is that Dhabi is about to have a major moment. Twice is having a major moment. He's basically said he will give up his very soul for the sake of the League, which pretty much means that he just does not care about his own self anymore. He just doesn't care as long as they're able to be a-okay and safe. He does not care about his own well-being. It's sad, scary, and dangerous because Twice's quirk is honestly one of the most OP quirks we have seen from the story, if you think about what he's actually capable of. Because imagine if he got his hands on Redestro. He can make multiple Redestros, multiple Shigarakis, etc. You get the point. It's scary. It's not something that you really want working against you. Now, speaking of which, let's go over into the hero side of, what they're doing to the entire, Redestro's army, the Liberation Army, and everything. So, I really enjoy that a lot of Class A and Class B are getting time to shine. I really do appreciate all these little scenes like Kaminari, seeing our little Shroom Girl, Mudman. It's nice. It definitely, it makes me happy to see these characters really shining and that these pro heroes are needing these new generation of heroes to really help them out. And it means that all of these other, manga chapters we've had in the past between, let's say, Class A and Class B and stuff wasn't necessarily useless. It was very important for these characters to be introduced, for they would have their active role within this fight against the Paranormal Liberation Front. So, there's a lot of things about these recent chapters that are just outright fantastic. Just seeing, like I said, these characters, our class students, actually going in and being very helpful, I think many can agree is amazing, and I can't wait to see more characters actually have to join the fight, and they're most likely going to have to, because, let's be honest, Gigan, Shigaraki, Redestro, and countless others really have yet to even start joining the fight, and if Twice manages to break out of his situation, that's where it's going to get really bad, because there's going to be so many duplicates of Twice, and so many duplicates of the villains, that it's just going to be insane to stop it. So we'll see where that one goes, but, let's talk about Redestro for a second. So, I find Redestro's entire sequence within this chapter pretty hilarious, because he has this face of just smiling, trying to stay stress-free, acting like happy and all that, and you just see how people are talking to him, he's about to do a speech, and we know how Redestro's speeches are, they're pretty intense. But, he's, just sitting there, he's listening to everybody and all that, and then all of a sudden they tell him the news, and you see his entire face just completely stress out and all that, and I'm just like, uh-oh, things are about to get really bad, because we know Redestro, he may have lost to Shigaraki, but Redestro is not weak. We know for a fact that man is scary. He is a really strong man. He's up there. So I could definitely see when he starts to join the fight, it's going to be scary. And imagine if Twice can make duplicates of him. That's even scarier. So we'll see where this fight's going to go. I definitely sense potentially a lot of deaths in the future in these upcoming chapters just because of it just now getting underway. We're truly just now starting the situation, this big fight, so we'll see. But I want to talk about one last thing though before I kind of start to wrap up this video. Edgeshot, I think that's his name. He put tiny holes in a bunch of different villains to slow them down, and then Midnight knocked them out. It's fascinating to see how his ability works and how he's actually capable of that. That's pretty scary. That's a scary ability to be able to be so precise and kind of be so sharp to be able to go in and make a little hole in everyone. That's deadly. That's really deadly. Imagine if Edgeshot was not actually a hero, but a villain instead. He could really hurt a lot of people just because of how his quirk works. So yeah. But, I think I'm gonna kind of wrap it up there. It's a good chapter. I feel bad for Twice. I don't know what to think. I mean, it's just all around bad, because I like Hawks a lot, I like Twice a lot, and obviously one of them need to lose, and, this is kind of the situation that I talked about with the My Villain Academia arc, is that thanks to Horikoshi giving such a spotlight to the villains, it makes it very conflicted now. You don't really know who to vote on, because you like both sides. You like Shigaraki's side, and you like Izuku's side, and you don't really know who you want to win on both sides. And that's where you have a really good, I guess, tension added to chapters, because you don't know what to expect, you don't know who is going to win, because you know what both individuals are capable of, their personalities, so it's exciting. But I want to wrap it up there. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And I apologize to all of you out there that were waiting for me to upload this last night. I wasn't feeling too well. I took some medicine and I kind of passed out, so I apologize. But here I am. I'm feeling better today. I am. I am definitely feeling a lot better. Bad cough, but I'm feeling better. But I love you guys. Be safe. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And with that, Chibi out.